Students, hi. I'm here to show you how to access WGSN for your project research for the Trend Board project. There's loads of information on WGSN. I want you to see how to access the site and what to look for once you're in it. Let's begin. I'm here on the home page. When you click on East Falls Campus, you get a drop-down box. You want to go to the library. Once you're there, you want to look for the databases, from A to Z databases. You want W, not Wall Street Journal, you want WGSN. And now you're in WGSN. So, there's so much information. You want to go to these arrows and look. There's just so many categories. I don't want to go there because I want to start with. I'm not sure why this won't move. View more images. Here's what I want. I want to go into the women's, and I want to choose a future season. I'm going to choose spring, summer 21. Try them all out. Now, what I'm ultimately looking for, and it gives you a breakdown in all these categories. To start with, you don't want to be in a specific category as much as you want to be into a generic category, and you want the women's style trend concepts. Now, I clicked on women's, and I don't know why I'm receiving men's reports. So let me try this again.
It's on men again. Men.
Why does it keep going on men? Here they are. Women's style trends, and women's style trends. There's typically always 3 different categories. This is where I want you to research. So let's pick one, and we're going to look at it. It's up to you. Once you choose this one, the other 2 are always here on the bottom of your screen. You don't have to search anymore. You've got them all. Just look. I don't know if this is something that is reminiscent of what you want to do for this category, then that's a picture that you want to put on your board, and you could either download it or you can print it. I think in this case, because we're doing it digitally, you're going to want to download it. And don't worry about, I don't even know what that was. This action point gives you lots of information about the category itself, and ultimately, the color story is here. Don't mind us. It gives you a really, really concise and huge color story. You're not going to want this whole color story, but, these are the colors for this particular category. Now, there's different sections of this particular category that are completely different from one another. Which one is the one that you like? Future Classics, Ocean Comber. And it's all about color, and it's all about imagery. And that's where I want you to focus on, the imagery to start with. Like, I love this one because look at those colors. I could copy this or download it and start with this for my category. Now, I don't know that I would want to do an underwater kind of a look, but, it's very subjective. Then this particular category, I love this because it's very earthy and like mineral or soil. I don't know what this category is claiming the direction is, but it suits the color story of this category, and it suits the look of the garments that are in it. It's all in your interpretation. So here's another one that's very light and airy and colorful, nice, interesting colors. So every one is different. Precious metals, you could go on and you could find pictures of different metals that are oxidized, that are turning colors, and let that be the determining factor as to what you choose for your color story. So let's go into a different category. So we're in this category, and it really does get very extensive. Look, this is great. It reminds you of, I guess, the deep things deep in the ocean, but it's all about fabric manipulation. But I just want to show you how many ab structure. That's great because everything in it, this, it's all about structure. So then the garments are going to have structure. That's where I want you to think about for sewing all. Now, dark night, there are so many different categories. And these are the influences you can read about, and then that's the end of one category. Then you can go into a different one. Homespun. Now this has a completely different look, but again, if this is interesting to you and you think you want to do this, download it. Read your action points, gives you a lot of insight into the basic overview of the whole category and your color stories. Now this is spring summer, so you know this is what's going to look good for spring summer. Rustic tailor, beautiful, all just not common details of tailoring. The capsule, whatever that is. Read into it, look at it from the perspective of this. This looks like kind of, oh, I see, repair, reuse. That's a very homespun looking kind of thing, which that makes a lot of sense. You make it in quilts. I can't hover or I'll go into the next slide automatically. So just look, you know what, start just looking. That's what's going to inspire you initially. And then you'll go back, you'll look. Then you see something you like better, but at least you have a direction. That's really ultimately all I want you to do. But these three categories are strictly for spring, summer. There are three separate categories for fall, winter. Let's see if I can find them and not go into menswear. See, these are accessories, intimates. I don't want, oh, here they are. These are your categories right here. Women's style trend concepts. I'm going to put that in the email. This is where I want you to look. And there's three specific different categories. Well, here we go. There's conscious clarity. Read your action points. There's your color story. And look at the separate categories and the separate reports within this particular influence and choose the one that you like the best, if this is where you want to be. There's such a wealth of information in these slides. Prim and proper. I think there was one that this is the new standard. This is great. Very 50s. There's a lot of times there's a lot of influence from a different decade. That's a really interesting report. Speakeasy. This was one of my favorites because I like all this detail that I would put in a category. Not in men evening wear. You can turn it into a category specifically of your own design where you can put a combination of, which I would go with the contrast of this detail of all the jewels and the trims and structured styles with it. And that's the kind of the direction I would take. But that's just me personally because that's what I'm inspired by. So here's lots of categories. A lot of this spring stuff has to do with fabric manipulation, disrepair, double tailor. I mean, a wealth of information. And then the other two, that one's similar, but this one has a lot of, it's very dark. And they're claiming that that's going to be a trend because of the way I went into see if I hover too long, it goes in another category. It's the escapism and opulence in dark times, which they claim we're going for. And so this has a completely different color story and different. Look at the look of this compared to the other two. Dark, not so much dark, but read on, and then let you see one more thing. I'm going to write all this down in my email. Then when you can go into women's again. I think the key is when you want to go in women's, don't go this way, go down into this. I'm going to go into.
I thought you were in youth.
Oh, I'm in youth now. I want to go in image library. Check all these categories. Educate yourself as to what everything is. This is not what I was looking for. Again, when you see something you like, definitely download it. Design resources. You can do catwalks. That would be like your third board. You could do design resources. I mean, there's maybe some particular images that you could use for these. And for the fourth board, if you can do CAD, that would be great. Anyway, there was no. Am I in women's? Create. You can go into textile. You can download textiles and actually use them on your board. The catwalks is good for the third board, the runway looks board, and then I don't know why this image library comes up with all that red. Yeah. Sometimes you have to just continue to try it because it does its own things. I don't want that. I want to look for flats. Textiles now. No. That's that red one, isn't it? No, I don't want that. Let's try the design capsule. And then it gives you some heads up on the different things. Work, leisure. Maybe there's other things that you can gather from some of these other categories. But just whatever you do, spend the time to just go in here and look at everything that you can possibly gather from this whole site, because there's so much information and you don't know where or if you're going to use it. So don't forget to download it or copy it. No downloading for this project because you have to do it digitally. And just keep searching and saving the images you like. And then, if you want me to look at what you've got, I can tell you whether they go together, how to put them together, and what you need in lieu of the fact that you've created this and it looks like you need something else. So anyway, do your research and have fun doing it. Good luck.